This past series is something Pig should cast for his games of the week. Elaine is a legend. Shout out to Iron Ringed in the chat. True. I see, Sander. This is how all PvZ should happen. It was a great series. This series has a lot to live up to. As here we go, we are diving into our second series of the night and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE. We have the Peruvian Protoss player, currently teamless. It is Tiratuga. And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing his brand new team, Team Super. It is TheZergLord. Oh. Let's go. So I haven't explained this, but Tiratuga, if you are unfamiliar with the Spanish language, it is actually a phrase. It's a couple of words put together. It's kind of like throw out your ga. Like we do have that point redemption in the chat. So his name is essentially a meme. For those wondering, that's what it is. That's what it comes from. But that doesn't stop him from being a great player. Again, he isn't the most consistent player. He isn't the most active. Again, he was pretty inactive in January and February and even most of March. So a lot of people thought he, in a way, retired or just took a break from the game. And he did take a break, to be fair. But he came back a couple of weeks ago. And it was a pretty impressive comeback. We don't see much of him, but he came back last week, and in Sentimiento Latino, taking a game off of Jim Rising is impressive. It's pretty impressive. So I'm curious to see how much he's going to improve. I'm sure he's back because of DreamHack. DreamHack Summer is right around the corner, so everyone is coming back. Everyone wants to get in shape and in form and do their best to qualify for DreamHack, especially because the DreamHack finals are a LAN event. Like, they're in Valencia, you know? It's the LANs are coming back. We can travel abroad. We're gonna have audiences. We're gonna have crowds. We're gonna have a stage. It's gonna be insane. So everyone wants to try their best to get there. Oh, and we'll see who is able to get there. You know, we've got players coming back. We've got teams supporting players. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be insane. And speaking of, bit of a shout out to Grape Dactyl in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing for 7 months in a row. Was meant to go here. Whoa, was meant to go here. Thank you. Thank you, Grape Dactyl, for the support. We appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your ducks. Hope you enjoy your replay packs. Hope you enjoy your emotes in the chat. Oh. As so far, everything here is pretty standard. We do have a Stargate opener. Tiratuga, I was about to say he used to be a bit of a Skytoss enjoyer, a Skytoss abuser. But in the latest patch, it's possible that he's kind of strayed away from that. There we go. We do have an Oracle opener. If you remember from our last series, outside of the proxy game, we saw him go for more of a ground-focused composition. And that's the great thing about PvZ recently. Because of the death of the Queen Walk, it's kind of opened things up so Protoss players don't have to do the same thing over and over again. We don't have to see Double Stargate Void Ray or Glaive Adepts every single game. This matchup for a lot of people was becoming pretty stale, but now it's, you know, there's a lot more variety involved in PvZ. So thankfully, Tiratuga is taking advantage of that. We do see him open up with double Oracle. One Oracle to defend at home, the other Oracle to harass. He's probably going to go triple Oracle even. And he will be able to get this third base up pretty quickly. The purpose of this Oracle is that if Lings showed up, Oracles will make short work of Lings. Here we go. 2 Oracles are out of the map. They're going to be zooming across the map. Third Oracle is on the way as well. Again, this third Oracle should be staying at home. We can see it rally to that third base to keep it safe, to keep it secret. And the Oracles zoom out. Meanwhile, looking at the ZergLord's vision, he did scout the Stargate opener. Spores are on the way. They finish up just in time. Oh, oh, nice target fire, dealing a lot of damage to that one Oracle. Even here, oh my god, I don't know if you want to overextend too much, but the target fire wasn't quite there. You can see a lot of damage was dealt to that left Oracle when it could have been the right. So Tiratuga gets away with all of his Oracles alive, but he doesn't deal a lot of damage. He killed one drone, and that is it. But that is all about to change. Tiratuga, he's got his third base up and running. We have some cannons, sorry, we have some shield batteries, we have some pylons. Now with triple oracle, damage will be done. Not just triple oracle, but also 4 adepts. Meanwhile, oh my god, he just dives on the queens. Yeah, you can do that. Aye. 2 queens fall instantly, and now suddenly the defenses of the ZergLord aren't looking so great. The Lings can't engage, the queens can't engage unless another queen wants to die for free. Aye, no! The ZergLord, no, not the high energy queen! Oh, the queen just barely survives. Aye. And that could have been a lot worse. That was pretty bad already, as in, 2 queen kills and a bunch of Lings. Not bad damage from Tiratuga. But the ZergLord could have lost a lot more, could have lost another queen, his drones. In the end, he was able to stave off the attack for now. But a pretty good start from Tiratuga, all things considered. Now, especially because now he's got his third up and running. Look at the worker count, by the way. He is equal in workers, slightly behind now, but not by much. So economically, our Protoss is looking beautiful. And he's going into a Phoenix. Only one, if you remember, from Elaine's game. He only gets one to clear out Overlords, and that's it. It's a little bit, either pick a Void Ray or a Phoenix. He opts to go for Phoenixes instead, just to deny all this vision. And in the face of the Phoenix, I love it, the ZergLord goes for a Spire. This is what we wanted Elaine to do. This is what we wanted. Again, sure, there's one Phoenix, but there's only a single Stargate. So going into a mass Muta switch could work. Or, maybe enough Mutas to harass and get into a mineral line. We'll see how much he'll commit. You don't have to go mass Muta whenever you go for a Spire. Meanwhile, 3 oracles will show up. They will out DPS this hatchery, but the queens are here. Oh my god. It's got 1 HP. It's got 1. Shaking my head. I just seeing everyone spam guy in the chat. Oh my god. What have we done? But yes, all 3 oracles just continue to live. They are immortal, essentially. They will not die. But they still haven't scouted the Spire. We do see a Haluk scout, and it just barely edges in and gets that Spire scout. But does Tiratuga realize? Looking at his vision and looking at his response, he's getting a cannon at the 3rd. He doesn't have any cannons in any of his mineral lines. I don't think he's realized what he saw. Even though the hallucination saw it, the player itself hasn't seen it. And he's not responding. There are no Phoenixes on the way. He's getting cannons now. Okay, so he has realized what's happening. But is it too late? Because we have 8 Mutas coming across the map. Oh boy, a couple of Archons are being morphed in. So in a head-on-head engagement, Tiratuga should be okay. But I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about his mineral lines. I'm worrying about defending his bases. As here we go, it is an investment only into 8 Mutas. 8 Mutas can one-shot workers, by the way, so this is more than enough to deal harassment damage. They are going to dip in, and there are cannons, so the Mutas are going to think twice about going in, but I mean, they still get probe damage done anyway. Meanwhile, we just see the Oracles dive into the main base to confirm that Spire. Finally, we have Phoenixes coming out, so again, Tiratuga, he didn't realize what was happening, but he's actually pushing out with everything. I don't know about this. We have an army waiting for him. The ZergLord, he's got Roaches, he's got Ravagers, he's got Banelings morphing in as well. This army isn't going to do anything. Sure, he has force fields, but honestly, he only has 2 sentries. Oh god, Phoenix even tried to help out a little bit here, but the Baneling's going to roll in. Oh god, they're stuck behind the Roaches. But now they are not stuck. They roll on in, they connect with everything. And even if this isn't the most efficient trade, running into Archons and Immortals, it's more than enough to clean up the ground army. Aye. Forcing a bit of a base trade here, and Tiratuga has to go all the way back home. Meanwhile, he lost his entire mineral line. Again, he was not ready for these Mutas. The Mutas forced his hand, and that's exactly what the ZergLord wanted. He was waiting for the counterattack. He was waiting for the response. He just swallowed up that Protoss army. Ugh, and now there's barely anything left in the main base. We have a couple of Phoenixes coming out, but they don't have Phoenix range either. Like the ZergLord, he can clean this up. Oh, he depowers the Stargate. Depowers +1, and in comes that ground army. We do have a couple of stasis traps. Ooh, get hype. The stasis traps are gonna buy a little bit of time here for Tiratuga, but time for what exactly? Like, he can't really get into anything. He's stuck with Archon Immortal. He doesn't have Disruptors. He doesn't have Colossus. He doesn't have a Robotic Spade. Like, he just doesn't have the tech to really deal efficiently with this army. Oh boy, the ZergLord, he's still going to respect this. He's going to be able to back off. A couple of biles will connect with the army on the retreat. Meanwhile, the Mutas are still not dealt with in the main base. They're going to be able to take down the Twilight Council as well. Not the biggest of deals, but, you know, they're still dealing damage, and Tiratuga chases the army all the way into creep. He gets surrounded, and once again, he gets swallowed up. GG gets called the ZergLord. Takes game 1. GG. And yeah, with that, he takes the lead. A bit of a feels bad, man. Again, Tiratuga, he scouted the spire. He didn't see the spire. It's unfortunate. You know, the spire, it's a pretty small building. It's very easy to gloss over when you're scouting. It could look like a spore even at times. So if you don't click on it, you may not really recognize it. And I feel like that's kind of what happened there by Tiratuga. Even though his hallucination scout was on point and was correctly timed, it didn't really register what he was scouting. He couldn't prepare in time, didn't get the phoenixes out, and because of that, once the mutas showed themselves, he was like, oh god, I wasn't ready for this. I have to do something with my army. Hopefully the ZergLord spent too much money in mutas, and I can maybe abuse that and catch him off guard. But the ZergLord was already ready with a ground army. It was only 8 mutas. Wasn't any more than that. Oh. Yeah. With that, we are getting ready to dive into game numero dos, number 2. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates in the bracket? So far, we don't. Neo Shaggy still finishing up against top, TOP. So that's gonna take some time. Yo, shout out to Cosmos. Wow, looking at the bracket, Cosmos took a game off of Arez. Not bad. No, I'm impressed. I'm legit impressed. If you don't know him, Cosmos is a Portuguese caster. He is from Brazil, and he has a pretty successful stream, and he also, you know, does music on the side as well. As we do get in. So yeah, Cosmos, he's a great guy, and I'm impressed that he took a game off of Arez. Arez is not a pro player, but again, very high up there in Masters, so damn. Damn. Cosmos flaunting a little bit there. But of course, Arez moves on. He's going to be facing, or looking to face, Jim Rising in the next round. Hopefully, Jim Rising shows up. He is streaming at the moment. But here we go. Oh my. Spawning in the top left-hand corner. Not making a drone, going for a 12 pool. We have the Brazilian Zerg player representing Team Super. There it is. It is the ZergLord. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player representing himself. He is teamless. It is Tiratuga. Getting 12 pulled. Let's go. So we do have a probe scout. So this won't be a repeat of the Elaine series. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a proxy against a 12 pool, as much as I would love to see that. And Tiratuga, with this probe scout, he will confirm this 12 pool. He should if he goes into the main base. We'll see. We'll follow this probe, and yep, he doesn't waste any time at the natural, goes straight into the main. And with this scout, he should start preparing at home. This isn't like a build order win or anything like that. We should see a full wall off. We should see a chronoed out zealot. Because it's not a pull first and it's a 12 pull, you have to respond a little bit differently. Some players do pull probes. They pull probes down to make sure that the zealot doesn't get surrounded and they can protect the pylon. Because I don't think the zealot is going to come out in time. It's going to be close. Lings are on the way, and oh god, the zealot needs a little bit more time. We may even have to see a full wall off, but up, it comes out. Just in time as the Lings show up. There we go. Again, because it's a 12 pool, you need to pull boys. Probes are here to help back up the Zelt to make sure it doesn't get surrounded. And even more Lings came out. How much? 10 Lings in total. Oh my god. That's a lot of Lings. Again, so this does force some lost mining time. It forces investment into this wall. But Tiratuga shouldn't die from here. A lot of damage is being dealt to the Cybercore, but now with 2 Zealots can push out, and their goal here is to save the Cybercore. Oh. Cybercore is getting pretty low though. Oh god, one of the Zealots almost gets surrounded again. The probes are coming in, and it looks like they will not keep that Zealot alive, but they do save the Cybercore. Whew. And Tiratuga, he holds, he defends. He is living his best life. And the ZergLord is in a bit of a rough position here. Again, ideal scenario, you kill the Cybercore. You know, you get some damage done. Again, he did force lost mining time. He forced a delay in the tech, a delay in the gases. He forced 2 Zealots to be made, so there was some indirect damage, but ideally you want a little bit more. You want a little bit more. Oh. As the Overlord was a little bit out of position, takes a little bit of damage, but it's okay. It's okay. He does get up on that perv pillar. Beautiful. I just realized that there was a hologram of a Zergling there. Oh my god. Really is a Zerg pillar. It's beautiful. But this is not where things are a little bit scary, because now we have two adepts across the map, and we don't have Ling speed. So if the ZergLord isn't careful, these adepts can actually kill drones. Like they can get a little bit out of hand if he's not on top of this. But so far he is. The Lings, they continue to chase the shade every single time, so the adepts will not find a way in. Not yet. Ling speed is on the way as well, so he's not going to skip it. He's not going to go straight to roaches, and interestingly enough, he doesn't pull out of gas. Because of how late his Ling speed is, you can't really pull out of gas in this scenario. Meanwhile, oh my god, the adepts actually commit to the shade. Tiratuga? Ay. Was it worth it? I mean, it could have been 4 adepts together. They may have even killed all these Lings. He does confirm that there is no fast lair, so he can, you know, he can be a little bit calm about that. There is no like Nidusol incoming or fast spire or anything crazy like that. So maybe it was worth it just to get some scouting, especially because I just realized Tiratuga is not going for a Stargate. Oh my god. I'm just so used to Stargate openers. They're so common nowadays, even without the Void Ray, even with just oracles. But no, we're seeing a Robo instead into a Twilight Council. So this could mean a couple of different things. This could be DTs, could be for a Dark Shrine, could be for Glaive Adepts. Meanwhile, 2 Adepts do shade it into the 3rd base. Oh my god, actually get a lot of damage. This was not 2 Adepts, this was 5. 4 drones already going down, and this is the problem. We only have Lings to defend. Oh, they also don't commit to the shade either, so they get a little bit of damage, and they will always be a threat waiting outside the 3rd base. So the ZergLord has to be more on top with his creep spread, with his Ling like positioning as well. And we see this is not for DTs. This is for charge. Oh my. Interesting. I guess he's fond of this. If you remember, he went for a charge in the previous game as well. It's not like he went for a charge all in. There's +1 with this, and there's the 3rd base. I guess he just prefers it over going for Blink Stalkers. As you could argue, there's a little bit more micro potential with Blink Stalkers, but charge lots are a little bit easier to control in a way. As he does go for that Haluk Scout. Once again, the ZergLord is going for La Espida. The Spire is on the way. Is it going to be scouted? And is Tiratuga going to respond this time? Oh boy, the Spire. The Haluk barely survives. Oh, the Scout is real. Does he see? This time he sees. He's patrolling. Thankfully, this time Tiratuga is well aware of the mutas. Now the question is, this is a pretty early scout, so after the death of the Haluk, the ZergLord could cancel this. He doesn't have to let this finish. He's not committed. Not yet. As the Spire nears completion. More importantly, the ZergLord has to scout again. He has to go for another hallucination in a couple of seconds to see if the Spire finishes or not, right? Like, he needs to see if it's cancelled. He needs to know how seriously he has to take it. So far, no real response. We can see the production of a Warp Prism, so this shows us that Tiratuga wants to push out. He wants to be aggressive. I'm sure he's hoping that mutas are made, and maybe with Archons and with a ground push, he can kill his opponent for making mutas. But we can see that the ZergLord is making roaches. He's got +1 on the way. He's got roach speed on the way. He's not making any mutas. He does let the Spire finish, and he is working on +1 range, so whenever he wants to, he can go into mutas, but right now, he's focusing on a ground army, which is exactly what he needs. Tiratuga gets scouted by a Changeling. He is seen. The ZergLord knows how active he's being, and he's just making nothing but Ravagers, Roaches, Lings, Army. Baneling Nest is on the way as well. This ground push shouldn't get anything done. And I hope Tiratuga doesn't commit. Oh no! Oh. Okay. We're okay. The War Prison survives, the ground army is spotted, and Tiratuga will back off. So now the ZergLord can go back to droning. Not just droning, he can make mutas. Here we go. Instead, he goes for a bit of a Ling run by. He does confirm that a 4th base is on the way. Lings are here to deny it, and with this surround, we should see a cancel. Up. There we go. We do see a cancel in time. Do we have Storm? We don't have Storm. I'm a little bit concerned here. It doesn't matter. I mean, Storm isn't necessary. Storm won't even help against the Roaches and the Ravagers. Here we go. The army's pushing out, hitting this 3rd base. Probes already going down as they were being transferred from the natural to the 3rd base. Could the ZergLord have broken his opponent here? Maybe. Force fields would have made things a little bit different, a little bit difficult. But he just backs off, and yeah, there we go. He drones up. Oh, 4th base still on the way. This Roach Ravager army is still massive, though. Like, look at the army disparity. I do think that if the ZergLord just hit this 3rd base, I don't think that Tiratuga can stop him. I'll be honest. I'm not fond of how long he delays the Robotic Spay. Like, Disruptors or Sky Toss feel so necessary to defend against Roach Ravager. Oh boy, and here we go. 4th base is cancelled once again. The ZergLord, he's not taking any chances. He just keeps dipping in and keeps denying the base. He never goes for a big head-on engagement. Oof. So a couple of force fields are used, but fun fact, there were only 2 sentries. Now there's only 1 sentry, and now that sentry is out of energy. Like, again, the weakness of Roach Ravager is, you know, slowing them down and trying to deal with force fields. And without that, like, there's nothing stopping him. There's nothing stopping the ZergLord. We need something else. And again, I'm talking about force fields, but like with this mass Immortal army, force fields aren't necessarily what you want either. Because Archons do mess up those force fields as well. Oh boy, instead we have double Robo Immortal production. This can work, don't get me wrong. It is an answer. I don't know if it's the answer though. Oh boy. Like, Immortals definitely have their place against Roaches, don't get me wrong. They can be amazing against them. But you know, the Disruptors, they're in a league of their own sometimes. As we see a mass amount of Banelings rolling on forward. 56 Banelings are rolling in! Archons are usually ideal against them, but against 56 Banelings? Oh my god. I never thought I'd see the day where Banelings kill 4, 5, 6 Archons. Jesus Christ. Alongside the Banelings, Roaches roll on forward as well. The Immortals are doing their best, and again, they are trading pretty well, but there's no buffer for them either. It looks like they are enough to force the ZergLord back, but not after the death of all those Archons and 14 workers. Ay, ay, ay. And now we just have a remax of Lings. Not Banelings this time, thankfully. But the Lings come in, they get a mass around as well. We have some cute micro here with the War Prism, but even the best micro, even Parting, even XCJ Enta's Hero won't be able to hold against this. The Lings roll on forward. There's only 1 Immortal remaining. A second one comes out of the production, so there is 2, to be fair, but that's nowhere near enough to defend against the wave of Zerg coming in. Ay, ay, ay. Fun fact, that Spire was never used. We have +2 air attack. We have +2 air attack on the way. Not a single muta was made. Ah, GG gets called, and the ZergLord takes the series. GG. Again, Tiratuga, it does seem like he has a composition that he's fond of. He did this in game 1. He did this against a lane as well. But when you're up against mass roach raveling Bane, you do have to adapt your style a little bit. And going Archon Immortal, I don't know. Charged Archon Immortal, I should say, doesn't feel like is the answer here. GG. GG, well played. Ooh, and fun fact, we just got updated. The ZergLord moves on, and he already has an opponent ready and waiting. Wow, I thought we were going to get the upper semis first, but no. Cham already 2-0'd Neo Shaggy. Oh my god. But yeah, massive shout out to Tiratuga. Again, his run ends here, but I do hope that it doesn't discourage him. I do hope that he continues to ladder, to work on his play, to improve, and yeah, again, DreamHack. That's kind of what we're all looking at, or it's kind of what I'm looking at. Like, I can't wait for DreamHack to finally come back. Like, we've had a pretty long off season. It happens every year, but soon that off season it's coming to an end.